What's up, everybody? This is Football Exclusive, and today I'm going to be taking the top 5 conferences in the NCAA and ranking the teams inside that conference. I do not expect to do well on all of the conferences. There might be a few teams that I think will do really well, and then they'll wind up not doing as good as I think. Like last year, I didn't expect Oregon to do that bad. UCLA, they with their new coach and everything, people expected them to do really good. They didn't do as well. Virginia Tech was a team that fell. TCU was one of them. Auburn was a big one, but there's a lot of teams that could probably do it this year that I don't see coming. I do not know about some of these conferences really well. I know a lot about the SEC because I'm a Vols fan. I made a video about them last video. You should go check it out. It is the Tennessee Vols 2019 spring game outcome. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one. Okay, first we're going to go ahead and do the ACC Atlantic. From these 7 teams, I have Clemson on top because they have Trevor Lawrence. He's a super good quarterback. I think he'll be able to lead Clemson to a number 1 spot. Clemson's been really good for the past couple of years, so I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson took that number 1 spot in the Atlantic. NC State, I do not know much about them, but I think they could have the talent to become number 2. We have Syracuse number 3, Wake Forest number 4, FSU, Florida State, for number 5. They did absolutely awful this season, I think. With that loss against Virginia Tech and everything, I think they were a little bit overrated at that time. I believe we put them on the top 5 overrated college football teams. I do not remember, so correct me if I'm wrong. Then we have Louisville number 6 and Boston College at number 7. And next we have the Coastal. Number 1, I got Georgia Tech. I don't think the rest of these teams will be able to outdo Georgia Tech because of their wacky offense and that triple play option and all of that. Number 2, I have Miami. I think they'll do better than last year. Virginia Tech. This year, they had a lot of freshmen and young guys. I think they'll do a little bit better this year. They also lost a couple guys this year because they got kicked off the team. One was because of grades, and the other one, I don't remember what happened. We had number 4, Virginia, number 5, Pittsburgh, number 6, North Carolina, and number 7, Duke. I don't expect none of those 4 teams to do that great, but they might shock us. Again, I don't know much about these teams, so I might be way off. Okay, so we have the Big 12 next. I have Oklahoma number 1. They had really good quarterbacks, so they've been number 1 for a long time. They lost Kyler Murray, so they might go on number 2 or number 3, but I think they have the potential to go on to number 1. Number 2, I got Texas. I don't really know why, but I think Texas has a lot of talent down there, and I think they might be better than they were last year. Number 3, I got TCU. They didn't do all that great last year, but I expect them to do pretty good this year. Next, we got Texas Tech. Then we got West Virginia, number 6. I think they're going to fall a little bit since they're losing their quarterback and their receiver. But watch out, WVU fans. Trust me, West Virginia will be pretty good in the next couple years. They got that new quarterback from Florida. And then we got Kansas State, Kansas, Baylor, and Iowa State. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started in the Pac 12. I'm going to do North first. We got Washington on number 1. And number 2, we got Oregon. As I said in the beginning of the video, Oregon kind of fell last year. I didn't see it coming. Then we got Washington State at number 3, number 4, Stanford, and 5 and 6, Cal and Oregon State. I don't think they have enough talent to be on the top 3, maybe the 4 spot, but I don't really see it happening. And then we got the South, number 1 Utah, and then UCLA, with their new coach, Chip Kelly, I think is his name. I think he'll be able to put UCLA on like number 2 or 3. And then number 3, I got USC. They kind of fell last year too. I didn't really see it coming either. They were doing pretty well, and then they kind of fell a little bit. Then we got Arizona, Colorado, and Arizona State. All right, next we got the Big Ten. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the East. We got Ohio State at number 1. They would have had a really good ranking last year, probably made the playoffs if they didn't lose to Purdue. That was a huge upset. But anyway, we got number 2, Penn State. I expect them to do good this year. They have their good and bad years. I expect this year they'll have one of their good ones. Number 3, Michigan. Number 4, Michigan State. Then 5, 6, and 7, Indiana, Maryland, and Rutgers. I don't think they have enough talent to be on the top 3, maybe the 4, but I don't think they'll be able to go past Michigan or Michigan State. All right, next we got Purdue on number 1 for the West. I think they'll do pretty well this year. But then we got number 2. We got Wisconsin. They fell last year, but I think they'll come back a little bit this year, and then maybe next year they'll take that one spot again and become Wisconsin again. We got Northwestern, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Illinois. All right, so we have the SEC. I'll be talking a lot about this because I know a lot about the conference, like I said in the intro. We got number 1, Georgia. They have their quarterback, Jake Fromm, down there. And they have a lot of other guys who are experienced. So I expect them to do really well this year. And we got Florida. And then I think Florida will be number 2 because they have Felipe Franks. And we got Tennessee. I'm going to expect them to do a huge jump. I told you a lot about this. Check it out in the spring game. I'll explain why. Then we got South Carolina. And we got Kentucky. They don't have an offense anymore. And I might switch Kentucky or Missouri on the SEC East rankings that Jane and I did. And we got number 6, Missouri. Then number 7, Vanderbilt. All right. Number 1 on the West, I got Alabama because they're Alabama. They have Nick Saban, Tua Tagovailoa, and all the other guys who are very well experienced players and developed. Then we got number 2, LSU. I expect them to do very well this year as they did this year. And we got Texas A&M. Number 4, Auburn. I think they'll come back a little bit this year, recover from what happened last year with those upsets like Mississippi State or Tennessee. That was a really big deal for the Vols fans when Tennessee beat Auburn. And we got Mississippi State, number 5, and then number 6, Arkansas, and number 7, Ole Miss. And that's all I have for this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you haven't already, turn on notifications. Please share this video with your family and friends. I might get some of these right. I might get most of these wrong. Who knows? Comment down below what you guys think. Comment if you disagree or agree with me. But that's all I have for you. See you in the next video. Peace.